The party lights shimmered softly against the crystal glasses, and laughter floated through the air like a melody that didn't quite belong to me. My wife, Vanessa, stood in the center of it all. Perfect hair, perfect smile, and a confidence that made every eye in the room follow her. She moved from one group to another, cheeks slightly flushed from champagne, her laughter echoing over the music. People adored her. Every compliment fed her ego. Every lingering glance made her stand a little taller. I watched her from across the room, holding my drink, wearing the same quiet smile I'd mastered over years of pretending everything was fine. But tonight, that smile meant something different. She was surrounded by co-workers, friends, even strangers she'd only just met, and she bathed in the attention like it was oxygen. Someone jokingly said, "Vanessa, you're stealing all the spotlight tonight." She tossed her hair back, laughed, and replied loud enough for the room to hear, "Don't worry. I'm everyone's favorite tonight." The group erupted in laughter and admiration. Her eyes flickered toward me, seeking my reaction, expecting jealousy, maybe a teasing comeback, maybe a defeated smile. But instead, I just nodded slowly, took a sip of my drink, and looked at her in a way I never had before, completely done, completely clear. She sauntered over to me, wine glass in hand, mischief dancing in her eyes. "You're being too quiet," she said playfully. "Jealous your wife is the star of the night." Her friends lingered behind her, watching, curious. I gave her a calm, practiced smile, and shrugged. "Why would I be jealous?" I said softly. She laughed again, placing her hand on my chest, unaware of the storm she was about to walk into. "Relax," she whispered. "I'm just having fun. I'm everyone's favorite tonight." That was the moment I leaned in, close enough for only the nearest people to hear, and replied, "That's exactly why the divorce papers are in my car." Silence. It felt like glass shattering on marble. Sudden, sharp, unforgettable. The music kept playing, but it felt distant, like it belonged to another world. Vanessa froze. Her smile disappeared so fast it was like it never existed. Her hand dropped from my chest. Her friends looked at her, then at me, unsure whether to laugh or gasp. You could hear the sound of someone dropping a fork across the room. Her eyes widened with disbelief. "You're not serious," she whispered, voice cracking slightly. I didn't blink. "Dead serious," I said, calm, steady, unshaken. She forced a shaky laugh, trying to recover, trying to pull her mask back on. "This isn't funny," she said. "You're making a scene." But I didn't raise my voice. I didn't yell. I didn't accuse her. I simply said, "I'm tired of being the loyal husband of the woman who flirts with every man in the room while wearing my last name." A murmur rippled through the guests. People who just moments ago were praising her now stood silent, watching her carefully like they'd missed something obvious all along. Vanessa's face wrined, not from champagne this time, but from humiliation. She grabbed my arm, nails digging lightly into my sleeve. "Stop it," she hissed. "We'll talk about this at home." I gently pulled my arm away and shook my head. "No," I said, "we've talked at home. You laughed. You ignored. You lied. So, tonight I'll be the one talking and you'll be the one listening." Her eyes filled with fear because she knew I wasn't bluffing. For the first time, she realized she'd pushed the wrong man too far. Her boss, the one she'd gotten a little too close with during office parties. Stepped forward awkwardly. "Maybe we should all calm down," he muttered. I turned to him slowly and said, "Don't worry, you won't be mentioned in the papers unless you want to be." His face went pale and he took a step back. Vanessa's lips trembled. She wasn't the charming hostess anymore. She was exposed, fragile, and desperately wishing the floor would swallow her whole. I didn't scream. I didn't curse. That would have made it easier for her to play the victim later. Instead, I spoke clearly, softly enough to be controlled, but loud enough for anyone nearby to hear. "You wanted to be everyone's favorite tonight. Congratulations. Now, everyone will also remember who you were when your husband stopped pretending." Those words didn't just hurt. They ended something. Something she thought would never end. She tried one last time to salvage her pride. "Please," she whispered, tears forming in her eyes. "Can we not do this here?" I tilted my head. You had no problem disrespecting me here, I said. So, we'll end it here. Her shoulders slumped. Her chin quivered. The woman who walked into the party glowing with confidence now stood in front of me, shaking, mascara slowly threatening to fall. I placed my drink on the table, buttoned my jacket, and looked at her one last time. Not with anger, but with finality. The papers are in the dashboard, I said. You can sign them tonight or tomorrow. But either way, I'm done. And then I walked away. Not fast, not dramatic, just steady, like a man who finally remembered his worth. Every step felt like freedom. Behind me, I could hear her sob quietly, calling my name. But I didn't turn around. Guests whispered, some in shock, some in pity, some in admiration. But none of that mattered. For the first time in a long time, I wasn't living in her shadow. I wasn't the silent, patient husband anymore. I was the man who walked out when respect died. And that night, long after the music stopped and the lights dimmed, one thing remained unforgettable. Not her laugh, not the party, but the silence that followed my words, the silence that ended.